So we see a couple in the park at the beginning of the film. Both of them are celebrating Valentine's Day. Meanwhile, someone was also taking their photo with a camera. That boy proposes to the girl, and the girl too happily says yes to him for marriage. Then the boy gets a call, which was from that cameraman. Actually, they had hired that cameraman so that he could take photos of these moments. He says that the photo did not come out well, so they should do it all again. That boy gets a little angry at him. But then both of them start making those moments again, and the cameraman started recording all this. But then a killer comes there. He stabs the knife directly into the lens, which pierces through the cameraman's eye and exits from the back of his head, and he dies on the spot. He calls the boy from his phone. They thought that he is the cameraman, so the girl gets fed up with him and takes the phone and starts talking to him, but she hears the recorded message of the cameraman. Now when the girl turns around, an arrow hits her friend's head, killing him instantly. The girl screams loudly. Then she is also attacked again. She runs to save her life. But the attacks on her are still ongoing, and now she hides behind the car. But then suddenly everything becomes quiet. She starts thinking who he was and where has he gone. But the killer has not gone anywhere. He was coming towards her, and she starts getting attacked again. The girl runs away from there too, but falls on the way, and the killer reaches her. The killer attacks her with a crossbow, and the arrow pierces the girl's foot, and she screams. Despite being injured, she somehow runs away from there limping and goes to a factory. It was a winery where wine is made. There was also a guard. The girl asks for help from the guard that the killer is after me. Please save me. Then the killer also reaches there. Then the guard takes out his gun to stop him. Seeing this, the killer takes out a knife from his pocket, on which a heart shaped was made. Before the guard could shoot, he stabs him in the face, so that guard is also dead. And then he also takes out a big knife to kill the girl. Seeing this, the girl again started running and hid under a machine. The killer was searching for her outside. Soon the killer finds out where she has hidden. He thrusts his hand in the window of the machine and grabs her by the throat. But the girl uses force to free her throat and closes the window. The killer's hand started getting pressed, so he has to take his hand out. Then the killer realized that the machine in which the girl is hidden grinds grapes and makes wine. Then he goes straight and turns on the machine. The girl sees that a part of the machine is moving towards her to grind her. She starts screaming loudly, and the killer was enjoying it. The rotating parts of machine reach very close to the girl in no time, and the machine tears her apart piece by piece while grinding, and then her blood pours out of the machine like wine. The killer makes a heart shape with flowers in the winery and leaves a hunter's heart in the middle of it, which was the mark of this killer. And his name is Heart Eyes, because the mask he wore had heart-shaped eyes holes. That is why the name of this movie is also Heart Eyes. After this incident, it spreads in the entire media that the Heart Eyes killer has returned again on the occasion of Valentine's Day. He targets couples by selecting them. But if someone comes in his way, he will not spare him either. This killer has appeared only 2 years ago, and since then, he has made many couples his prey. It is active only on Valentine's Day. That is why the media requests all the girls and boys to give up the idea of celebrating Valentine's Day. Do not make relations with anyone. Do not go to meet him. Stay at home. Otherwise, the Heart Eyes killer will come. Some boys and girls accept this, but there were some people who said that we should not be afraid. After this, we see the main character of the story, whose name is Allie. Allie's relationship with her friend had broken, and now he had formed a relationship with someone else, but Allie did not. She is still single because even today she remembers her friend. Allie's friend understands by looking at her face that she is sad in the memory of her friend. But Allie diverts the topic by saying that today she has to show her ad in the office. That's why I am just a little nervous, and there is nothing like that. Actually, both of them work in a jewelry firm. Yes, Allie is a lead designer. She is given the task of making an ad whose theme is love. But Allie is heartbroken, so how could she work properly on the theme of love? She creates an advertisement in which the relationship breaks up and the boy is killed, obviously. No one likes that. The boss also gets very angry at her. She says to Allie, "I trusted you." But Allie wasted her time. So the boss calls a freelancer to fix all this who had recently made a great ad on the theme of love. And it also went viral. Allie gets scared after seeing him that he might not take away my job. But Jay says that he will work with Allie on this ad, and now both of them are a team. On the other hand, we see the detective and the female officer. They go to investigate the crime scene at the winery. There they find a blood-soaked ring which does not seem to belong to the victim. They think that it might belong to the killer on which JS was written, and now they keep it with them as evidence. Jay invites Allie, saying, "Join me tonight for dinner at a lovely place where couples come. It may be place for lovers. This dinner will be only for advertisement. Who knows, they might get a good idea." He says that this is a kind of get-together where we are going for a walk. We are meeting, but only to the extent of work. Allie says, but it is Valentine's Day. Jay was single, so he did not notice. He says, "Oh yes, then you must have some plan with your partner today." Allie says that she does not have any plan because she is single. Jay says then this is the perfect time, so this is the best opportunity to go. But Allie was a little worried. She says that I am not in the mood. I don't feel like it. We will keep the dinner for tomorrow. Jay says that I will not be able to go tomorrow. It is my friend's wedding. So now Allie had no other way. So finally she agrees. When Allie reaches the hotel, security was checking people at that location because the threat of Hard Eyes Killer was spread everywhere. When she is being checked, the metal detector starts ringing. When the guard checks her, a metal straw finds out. Straw which is used to drink juice. Allie says that I don't like paper straws at all. They look weird. That's why I always keep my metal straw with me, which is completely clean. After which she goes and sits at the table. Meanwhile, Jay also comes there. The waiter says on seeing him that it seems, "Madam, your companion has arrived." Allie immediately says that he is not my companion but a colleague from the office, and we are only working. Then Jay comes and sits with her and orders drinks for both of them. Then Allie shares some of her ideas with him. But he was looking at Allie carefully. He is perhaps more interested in Allie than work. He asks her midway, "Why am I feeling that your heart is broken?" Allie says there is nothing like that and you should stay away from these matter. Jay says I just asked because I felt it after seeing your ad. But Allie starts confronting him and asks, "Who are you to judge me? If you know so much about love, then why are you still single?" Yes, this girl's heart is filled with hatred. He says to her, "Calm down first. Only then we will be able to work." And he angrily goes out from there. So Allie realizes that I have said too much. Coming out, she says sorry to Jay, that "Don't worry, I am all right and please help me in this ad or else I will lose my job." Then Allie notices that her ex is coming there with his friend. So she hugs Jay to tease him and tells him that Jay is her friend. Now Jay was very smart and immediately understands that Allie is doing all this to make her ex jealous. He supports her and introduces himself as Allie's friend. But both of them did not know that the Hard Eyes Killer had seen them hugging. He thinks of them as a real couple, and now his next target is both of them. After which Jay goes to drop Allie to her house, but he noticed that Allie has probably lost the keys of her house. He thinks of helping her, but he just thought and did nothing. Now the taxi driver notices this and encourages him and says, "Go son, help her and tell her what is in your heart." Then Jay comes to Allie and asks, "Is there any problem?" Allie says that I have actually lost my keys. But it does not matter, I will break the window glass and enter inside. My landlady will not say anything to me. But Jay says, "You leave it, don't get hurt. I know something. I will do this easily without hurting anyone." Then Jay punches the door, but he gets hurt. Allie realizes that all this has happened because of me. That is why she took Jay inside with her. She removes the glass pieces from his hand and applies bandage and tells that she was a medical student earlier. But then she left her studies. Then suddenly Allie remembers that she forgot to keep some of her things from the table in the cupboard. She secretly went to pick it up, but the killer was hidden in the cupboard. Seeing him, Allie gets scared and he attacks her. Jay starts fighting with him alone, but the killer overpowers him and hits him against the wall, picking him up. Now he takes out his knife to finish him, but Allie hits him with a lamp on his head. Both of them run out and lock the killer in the room without wasting a moment. They were just taking a sigh of relief when the killer pushes the knife through the door. Now both of them run away from the house and come straight to the street. They were thinking of running away in a taxi when the killer kills the taxi driver, and now he takes out his sword to kill both of them. Allie angrily says, "Hey brother, you have some misunderstanding. We are not a couple. Leave us." Jay starts calling the police from behind, but the killer sees him and immediately blows up his phone. Now both of them start running from there, but they see that the way ahead was closed, and then the killer catches Allie. Jay went to save her again, but he lost his consciousness after the killer beat him. Seeing this, Allie starts running and the killer leaves Jay and goes after her. Allie runs and hides in the big swing. After some time, she observes coming out that the killer is sitting outside and swinging the swing. She hides again. Now the killer was not there when she looks this time, and now he activates carousel, making her spin in it at top speed. Then suddenly he switches off the carousel, due to which Allie falls down with a jerk. She had not even managed to get up properly when the killer attacks her. But she narrowly escapes and starts running, kicking the killer. But she falls after going a little further. Then the killer comes to kill her. But seeing the police coming there, he leaves her and runs away, and the police saves Allie. But then she comes to know a very strange thing, that the police have caught Jay. They were suspecting him of being the killer. Allie says, "How can this happen? He was with me." Then Allie goes to talk to Jay, but he gets angry at her that I thought we were a team. It is a matter of great regret, but you left me alone and ran away. Allie says, "What could I do? The killer was after me." Then she asks the officer that how can you say that he is the killer? On which they show her that we found a weapon and a mask with Jay. Allie says that Jay is innocent because the killer is someone else. But those people do not listen to her, and they take Jay away. During interrogation, they show Jay the same JS ring found at the crime scene and ask Jay, "Is this yours? Because your full name is also Jay Simmons." Jay clearly refuses to this, saying, "How can it be mine? I am still single." But the detective still interrogates him. They say that Jay's locations match with all the places where the killer has committed murders. To this, Jay says, "I am a freelancer. I keep going here and there for work. This is just a coincidence and I am innocent." But the detectives did not convince by his words. Meanwhile, Allie also reached the police station. She says Jay is innocent and asks to let him go. But no one takes any interest in her words. But a boy, David, definitely takes interest in Allie. He offers her coffee and asks her to go out with him. But Allie refuses, saying, "No thanks. I have just escaped death in this affair." Now David says that it is okay, we are happy that the killer Hard Eyes has been caught. Now the female officer comes out and asks Allie, "Tell me when you guys are single, then why is the killer after you?" Allie tells her that she hugged Jay to tease her ex, and maybe the killer saw all that and he thinks that we are a couple, but we are not. Then suddenly the light goes off, but the female officer turns on the torch and sends another officer to check the main power line. Allie also goes after him, but the killer had already reached there. He kills that policeman. Seeing this, Allie goes to get the torch. But before that, the killer picks up the torch and turns it off, and he starts searching for Allie using the night vision of his heart eyes. But she was not less brave. She cleverly attacks the killer and runs away from there. She has met a policewoman on the way. Allie tells her that the killer is behind her. Then the killer also comes there, and Allie runs away on seeing him, but the officer is left alone. On the other side, Jay and the detective hear the gunfire along with the female officer's screams, on which the detective goes to save her. But the killer suddenly comes in front of him and attacks him. He stabs him in the legs and cuts them in the middle, and the detective dies a very horrible death. Then the killer comes to kill Jay. Jay could not even run away suddenly. He is handcuffed, but despite this he is escaping the killer's attacks. Then luckily Allie comes from the other side firing gun, and the killer has to run away from there. Now Allie helps Jay to unlock the handcuffs, and both of them start running from there. They reach a parking area which is for couples, where many couples are watching a movie sitting in a car. The killer was also roaming here. He sees that there are several couples. That means there was only prey. Everyone else was not afraid of the people because they thought that he was a masked fan. Then he slashes a man while walking and says, "Take it, brother, happy Valentine's Day." Jay and Allie are still running. Then they see a big white van in which both of them hide. But inside there was a couple who were talking. Jay and Allie stop them, saying that please don't speak, the killer will come. But both were fully drunk. They don't understand anything. And then the killer comes here, and he catches that boy and thrusts the sword into his mouth. Then he catches his friend and brutally plunges the sword into her mouth, and both of them die a horrible death. And now the game of death begins. The killer starts killing everyone one by one, and there is chaos in the whole area. Everyone starts running here and there to save their lives. Jay and Allie standing far away were watching all this. Allie says that a lot has gone wrong. We have brought this death here, and now we will have to take it away from here. And now both of them together make a plan to deal with Hard Eyes. Jay signals her from a distance and speaks, "If you have the courage, then come here." So now Heart Eyes leaves everyone else and goes after those two. Jay says, how will we fight? We don't even have any weapon. Allie shows her metal straw. Jay says, oh friend, this won't work. We will have to think of something else. Then both of them remember that sword which was thrust in the man's mouth. They together take out that sword, and in the meantime the killer also comes. Jay fights using same sword, but the killer grabs the sword from his hand and knocks Jay down, and he hits him again and again. Finally, he is about to kill Jay with his knife, but then Ally comes from behind and attacks the killer with a heavy thing. So, his head gets cracked and blood starts flowing rapidly. His knife also fell from his hand, but he still catches Ally. Seeing Ally in trouble, Jay picks up the killer's knife and pierces his back through it, due to which the killer dies on the spot. Both of them take off his mask and started looking at him. They wonder who he was and why he was killing everyone. The police praise them both for killing the killer and says that both of you should become famous now. You have ended the destruction caused by the Heart Eyes killer. Then a female officer comes here who talks about giving a lift to Jay. It seems as if she wants to make a relationship with him, due to which Ally was envying. Jay tells her that he has to go to the airport. He will arrange a car. No problem. So she started forcing him. She says that it's okay, I will drop you. So now Jay says goodbye to Ally for the last time. Ally says, okay, go, your friend is waiting for you. Jay says she is not my friend, and now he leaves for the airport with her. And Ally also comes to her home, but she was missing Jay a lot. She realizes that I have fallen in love with Jay. She was regretting why I let Jay go. She calls her friend and shares everything. Her friend says that he is a good person. You go to the airport before his flight departs and tell him what is in your heart. So now Ally runs towards the airport and starts looking for Jay. But then she gets a call which is from the Heart Eyes killer. Ally picks up the call and gets shocked as she hears the voice. She says, how can this happen? You were dead, right? He says, don't use your brain. If you want your Jay to be safe, then come to the location mentioned. When she reaches the location, she sees that Heart Eyes has held Jay captive. So now the whole story reveals here, and it is surfaced that the real Heart Eyes killer is the same boy named David, who talked to Ally in the police station. Even more shocking fact is that there is not only one but two killers. One is David and the other is his wife, who is none other than a female officer who kidnapped Jay on the pretext of giving him a lift and brought him here. Ally asks, why are you guys doing all this? To which they say that we enjoy killing couples. It gives a lot of peace. And as for that old killer, he was just one of our fans who was crazy like us and hence was killing everyone. Then they tell that when we saw you both hugging each other, we had thought that now you both are our target. The one who came out of the cupboard and attacked was my wife, the officer. The one who killed the driver was David. David had attacked in the police station, and his wife deliberately made it look like she was in trouble. And when the detective came to save her, David killed him, and that ring belonged to my wife, which was found because the initials of her full name are JS. Well, both of them places an option before Ally that if she really loves Jay, then she should shoot herself to save him. And if she doesn't, then she should shoot Jay. Then both of us will leave you. She chooses her love Jay and puts the gun on her temple and expresses before him that I love you very much and I am sacrificing my life for you. Jay stops her, but Ally doesn't listen and says I am sorry, and then she shoots Jay. Now, Ally did this because both of them were playing a game with them. Anyway, they had to kill both of them, but Ally intentionally shot Jay on the shoulder, which first touched him and then hit David's wife, and David had no idea about this. He was laughing. Then when he saw her falling, he realized and started looking at his wife and getting the chance. Jay and Ally start running, but they couldn't run very far. David catches hold of Jay and his wife also regains her composure and catches hold of Ally, and both of them are about to kill them together. But then Jay cleverly takes out an arrow from David's pocket and stabs him in the head. The arrow passes through his eye and comes out of his nose, due to which he falls down amidst the candles. Ally also thrusts a metal straw in his wife's throat, and now she is extremely angry. She pushes his wife into the statue of front wall, which goes through her throat. She was at a height, so the lower part of her body gets separated and falls. After this, scorched, wax-covered David starts crawling towards them. Then Jay attacks him with his crossbow and finally kills him too. After everything ends, the story jumps ahead 1 year where the love-themed ad created by Ally and Jay has become very popular and they get a lot of praise. Allie decides to leave her company and return to the medical field. Then she goes out with Jay and proposes to him. Jay happily agrees to marry her, and the film ends with their story.